The Boston Celtics have won 11 straight games after they dominated the Warriors at home, winning 140-88. And that score is absolutely correct. In fact, it was tied 21-21 in the second quarter, and then they never looked back. They had leads as big as 50 tonight. It was an incredible performance, especially for the Boston Celtics, who have just been dominating since the All-Star break happened. Because when you look at the stats that happened in today's game against the Boston Celtics versus the Golden State Warriors, it started off kind of interesting. Steve Kerr had his Golden State Warriors giving Jaylen Brown a lot of cushion. I'm talking like 6+ feet from the nearest defender. And Jaylen Brown's like, what are they doing? Why are they stepping off me? Well, that's a big fat mistake. He went off and went crazy in the first 10 minutes of his playtime. He ended with 29 points. He didn't even play a full game and nearly had a 30-piece. He only played 2 quarters and nearly had a 30-piece. Along with 3 rebounds and 3 assists, Jaylen Brown is not a player for anybody to ever give that much cushion in a ball game. He immediately shut that down. And I like to see that Jaylen Brown has really been coming back to the first half Jaylen Brown that he has been for the Boston Celtics. Jayson Tatum said a while ago, look, I let JB and KP do their thing in the first half. I kind of come in towards the second half and really start to find my rhythm. Well, this is now the second straight game where Jayson Tatum, he did it against the Warriors, he did it against the Dallas Mavericks, where Jayson Tatum has really taken only 1 shot, or he's only made 1 basket in the first quarter. But yet Jayson Tatum just goes to show how great of a ball player that he is, because even if he isn't playing that much in the first quarter, and by playing I mean scoring, well, he always finds his rhythm come second quarter, come the second half. He still had a 27-piece and only had 2 points in the first quarter, which is exactly what he did against the Dallas Mavericks. So if you ever see Jayson Tatum starting off a little slow, I don't want you to be worried. I think this is actually structured now to have Jayson Tatum kind of conserve his energy to be able to flourish in the second half. Now, I'm not saying Jayson Tatum is probably not able to take shots in the first quarter, but the way that Jaylen Brown and Kristaps Porzingis have been scoring for the Boston Celtics to start the game, there really is no need for Jayson Tatum to do anything but facilitate in the first quarter for the Boston Celtics, which is great because they've really been doing fantastic throughout these 4 or 5 games since the All-Star break, and they have so much more to go, which really leaves me with only one question. If it's not the Golden State Warriors, if it's not the Dallas Mavericks, who is a contender in the NBA against the Boston Celtics? Who do you guys think the biggest threat is for the Boston Celtics? I think off the bat, I'm going to go Oklahoma City Thunder and the Los Angeles Clippers. Maybe the Knicks in the Eastern Conference. We will see later this week, as they do have the Cavs and the Nuggets, the number 2 in the Eastern Conference and the number 3 in the Western Conference. So you guys going ahead, drop an NBA team down below as I get into a few more stats here with the Golden State Warriors and Boston Celtics game. Look, Derek White has been having a great performance throughout these past couple of games. And my PrizePicks, going to prizepicks.com/CLNS, I've been taking Derek White to have more than 4.5 assists for a reason. Derek White has really stepped back from maybe scoring 28 to 30 points per night, especially since the All-Star break has come and went. He's been really focusing on spreading out the offense and facilitating the basketball, which I think is a perfect role for Derek White, who also has a great backcourt duo of Jrue Holiday, who seems to do the same thing. No more Jrue Holiday 3-point shots really coming from the top of the key. He's found his niche in the corner, shooting about 64 to 65%. As you can see, he did make a 3-point shot here tonight as well. So 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 7 points. Jrue Holiday and Derek White don't necessarily have to have double digits every single game because of that trio. If they do, it just makes the Boston Celtics that much better. But I have loved how the backcourt has really just started to focus on assisting and rebounding, especially on the bench as well. Peyton Pritchard is really starting to find his role here with the Celtics. He normally rolls with that second rotation of Jayson Tatum, Jrue Holiday, Sam Hauser, and Al Horford. And he does not slow down the Celtics one bit when he's playing side by side with Jrue Holiday and Jayson Tatum. Of course, against the Warriors, he played majority of the second half, so he popped off at 19 points, 3 for 5 from a 3-point line, and it's nice to see that he could be a valid option in the backcourt for the second rotation moving forward, especially into the playoffs. So that was a huge blowout win, but I do want to talk to you guys more about the challenges the Boston Celtics will face or won't face in the second half of this video. So go on ahead and stick around while I do break down our sponsor here on Celtics Today. Of course, it is PrizePicks, the #1 daily fantasy sports app in America's phone and in my phone as well. This is why you guys should be playing. It's extremely easy. All you guys have to do is pick between 2 to 6 players and pick more or less. It is literally that easy. Plus, you can play in over 30 states across the country, including California, Texas, and Georgia. They have quick withdrawals, easy gameplay, and an enormous selection of players and stat types. You can do NBA, college basketball, Call of Duty. You can do so much. So for the games going on later tonight, I have Josh Hart having more than 12 points, and I have Victor Wembanyama to have more than 4.5 block shots. That is a demon. A harder pick, but a bigger payout. So if you guys want to go on ahead and make your picks, just go to prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use promo code CLNS for a first-time deposit match up to $100 and watch yourself win some real money in real time. It's going to get lonely at the top, man. The Boston Celtics are 8 games ahead of the #2 spot in the Eastern Conference, which is the Cleveland Cavaliers. Like I said, they'll be facing them on Tuesday, but nonetheless, a report came out, an internal report, that the Boston Celtics are looking for new challenges every single game so that they don't get bored when they're blowing out teams 140-88. I'm not saying it happens a lot, but the C's haven't lost since February 1st. The last time they lost was to the Los Angeles Lakers without Anthony Davis or LeBron James, which I don't even want to talk about because I'm not even sure how that loss happened. But they've won 11 straight games. The C's are going to have to fall at some point. If not, then this is going to be an historic season. But it will come. But here's how the Celtics are delaying that fall time and time again. There has been a season-long struggle of the Boston Celtics playing down to teams that are not where they should be. For example, going into overtime with the Detroit Pistons, who had only won 2 ball games that entire season. That's what I mean by playing down. It's still professional basketball. I understand every single player in this league is good, but the Boston Celtics do not play better when they're playing worse teams. However, since the All-Star break, the Celtics have beat, well, this was before, I guess, the Golden State Warriors blowout. They have beat every single team by an average of 19 points or more. That average probably went up after the blowout, but there's a reason for this. Different things are working, and they're trying out different things in every single game. Drew Holiday of the Boston Celtics said, obviously winning is great, but we don't want to get bored of winning, which is a crazy thing to say, to be honest. I think being able to kind of give ourselves challenges, marks in the game that we want to get to, that's definitely going to help them out. If it's defensively, 25 points a quarter, or offensively, running things that we worked on in a shoot-around that day, those are things that we can really lock into. They did this when they tried to beat the Philadelphia 76ers by not shooting threes. They're working more on offensive rebounding and in the paint scoring. There's definitely things that they're trying to hit throughout the game that's not just necessarily getting the win. But it makes me wonder, is this mindset a good thing, or is this mindset the Celtics are getting a little bit too cocky? Because what are you going to do when you are going up against a Western Conference team like the Nuggets and you're not winning? At what point do you just get back to just win the ball game kind of mentality? Because the Celtics aren't perfect. While their record may be the best in the NBA and they're absolutely dominating the Western and the Eastern Conference right now, the C's have flaws, and that's going to be closing out close games. Time and time again, Celtics fans have seen the Boston Celtics blow their huge leads in the third quarter for no reason. Offensive rebounding, they're 15th in the league in offensive rebounding right now as well, plus sloppy turnovers. Did they have very few turnovers against the Warriors? Absolutely. But there have been numerous times where Drew Holiday, Jaylen Brown, even Jayson Tatum have thrown the ball away for no reason. So how much experimenting should the Boston Celtics really get into? Which leads me to my next question to ask you guys is, how confident are you in the Boston Celtics at this point to potentially win Banner 18? Just scale it between 1 to 10. I'm going to go with probably a 7 right now and how confident I am. I think the Boston Celtics can absolutely win the NBA Finals right now, but I think it's going to be hard. However, I just don't want the Boston Celtics to stray so far away from continuing to win and focusing on these other challenges that's going to make their lives harder. Challenges are great, and I'm glad to see the Boston Celtics are doing something other than blowing big-time leads, but it can get a little scary when they start to put too much on their plate. So go ahead and comment that down below. And as always, if you guys need anything and everything Celtics, Boston Celtics, just come here to Celtics Today by Chat Sports. I've got everything for you guys. All you guys have to do is just hit that sub button for me.